Hey everybody, just wanted to share with you my Harbor Freight 9x20 gearhead lathe that I use the shit out of. I actually love this thing. It's the exact same lathe that is sold by Jet is a white lathe, Grizzly is a green lathe, and Enco is a blue lathe. Exact same lathe, same part numbers. All they do is change the nameplate, paint it a different color. This one is from 2004 and a half. I've had it for about 2 years now, 3 years. I can't keep track of it, but it has made countless amounts of parts, custom parts for motorcycles, cars, anything I can think of. I don't know how I lived without having a lathe before I bought this machine. I actually have a Bridgeport 10-inch lathe, heavy 10, South Bend, that I very rarely even use because this one's just easy. It's set up right there. I figured I'd show it off now since I just cleaned all the chips and stuff out from behind it. Here's all the stuff that would have come with it new. I bought this used, so it didn't come with a lot of stuff, which are why some of this stuff is white from a Jet lathe that I had found. But here they are. It came with a 3-jaw 3-inch chuck, which should have a second set of jaws for reversing, but I didn't have them when I got it. A faceplate, 4-jaw independent chuck. Here's the chucking for the chuck that's on there. Follow rest and center rest. And I had like a normal style tool post holder on it. I changed that out for an Aloris style. This is just like an eBay knockoff that works really well. I think it was like $100. AXA is for the 9-10-inch series lathes. This is, I think, a larger chuck that would have came with it if it did come with a chuck. And then I put on a 6-inch chuck from Shars, which is just another company that sells kind of like knockoff Chinese machine parts. They're big on eBay. I bought that because I needed this set of reversing jaws for something that I needed to grab inside that was a large diameter. I think maybe when I made the air cleaner on this motorcycle. But the machine works pretty well. You know, I mean, it is a precision machine. You definitely need to make a little bit of a project out of it if you want it to be like super tight tolerances. Like it took me a little while to get this thing dialed in. You know, I mean, it does have hardened ways, you know, and they are pretty nice on this machine. It's been used but not abused. I did make this hold down for the compound because that was like very inadequate. I can't even remember how the factory one was. I think it was just two bolts through the T slots here. I made this out of 1/4-inch steel. It was probably heavier than 1/4-inch, but once it's turned down, it's 1/4-inch. You know, 4 T bolts. It holds it down really solid. Nothing moves now. When you're taking nice heavy cuts, it does really well. You know, I've turned mild, stainless, aluminum, you know, with no issues at all. Tailstock is pretty good. It does have adjustments back here, which is something you may or may not have to play with on your machine when it comes out of the factory. Center your, you know, the center your centers between your headstock and your tail stock. I think it does. I think it extends out to 1.5 inches, which is pretty good. I think you can run it past the graduations and probably get like about 1 inch and 3/4 out of it before you run out of movement. I do have a center drill in there right now. I'm trying to think what else I want to show you. Here is your thread chart. Does imperial and metric threads. Oh yeah, it does have a thread counter on it, built on. Trying to see what else I can show you. It's gonna get dark in here. I wish I could turn the flash on. Maybe I'll actually grab a flashlight and see if we can see in here. This is where your belt drive for your motor is, and like let's see, I'm trying to use a drill as a flashlight. It's the only thing close. It does use like a very thin belt, which holds up very well. I have a few extras just in case, because I didn't trust it at first. To drive from the motor to the to your headstock. There's everything in there. Does have a lever in the back to engage and disengage the motor. I should probably get better at disengaging it when I'm not using it, but I usually just always leave it engaged. It has a 110 volt or 220 volt motor. I have it wired for 110 right now, which is the way it came. I've never not had enough power with it. I've never had it stall on a cut, even just with 110 volts. I believe it's a half horsepower, maybe 3/4 horsepower motor on it, and I've never had an issue with it not being able to make a cut that I wanted it to make. And like, I've done a lot of learning on this lathe because I'm no machinist. I'm just a hobbyist that learned to start making things as I needed them, and it's been very forgiving lathe. Nothing's ever broken on me. It doesn't stall. It does well, and it's small enough where like you're not afraid of it. You don't think it's going to kill you. I just recently bought, there's a ladder in the way I'm hanging shelves, a big clawsing lathe, and that thing scares me. I think like that will take my hand off. Here, let me fire it up for you. See what you can tell. And that was in reverse. Or sorry, forward. Here's reverse. I do have a quick change gearbox engaged so the lead screw is going. Here's your engagement for the lead screw. Probably hard to see in this video, but I have it going slow. It is moving. Half nuts for threading. Disengage and just slide it back. It does make some noise, but it is a gear machine. It's not bad. I don't know if I would spend the money on it for what they sell for new. I've seen them go used, anywhere between $400 and $800-900, depending on what tooling comes with it, and if anyone took the time to go through it or not. I do like this machine a lot, and I'm kind of probably regret selling it now that I have this clawsing, but it doesn't make sense to me to have two machines that are virtually the same size. The clawsing does have I think this one's 34 inches between centers. This is 20 inches between centers. I use it to shave a lot of fork legs on Harleys and stuff, like choppers, and the fork legs do fit perfectly in between there, even with that large chuck on. Does the job pretty well. I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it if you're looking for a inexpensive first machine that isn't going to take up a lot of garage space in your shop. It's originally why I bought it. I'll do a quick pan. I have a one-car garage with basically an entire machine shop stuffed into it, and still have to be able to work and build bikes and stuff inside of it, and it's perfect for that. So yeah, I recommend it if you're on the fence about buying one. Maybe one came up on your local Craigslist or eBay. I actually got this machine off eBay. I found that a guy local to me had it. It was for sale on eBay. There's a large support group for it. I'm a member of I think it's a Yahoo, email list where you can email back and forth about how to do certain operations, how to do this, how to do that, how to maintain the machine, how to modify the machine. I was actually gearing up to make a taper attachment for this machine. I thought it would be a pretty simple thing to do before I bought my South Bend, which already had a taper attachment on it. Plus, it's not hard to do a taper manually if you know how to do that. Yeah, so this is it. Definitely recommend it. You know, it is a, all in all, Harbor Freight machine. So you got to come into it with that mindset that you might have to, go through it a little bit and make it yours. And just like any lathe, that they all have a personality of their own. Like you said, you learn the backlash and your compound and your cross feed. You learn to trust your dials, zero everything out. I don't have it photographed, but I made a clamp on for the waves for a dial indicator because I trust that way more than using the graduations on the wheels. But that's just me. Yeah, so here it is. Have at it. Hope this helped you if you're on the fence about it or just wondering if they were any good or not. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, or like the video if you like it. That way I'll know to keep making these for everybody. All right, later.